What's up, everybody? Ponylover1989 here. Anyway, at WCOFun.net, I can't find any real episodes of Himitsu no Ako-chan, the 1969, 1988, or the 1999 version. So anyway, I'm going to talk about another anime title, and it's called Akudama Drive. Akudama Drive is a 2020 Japanese cyberpunk anime television series conceptualized by Kazutaka Kodaka and produced by Studio Peirod, the same animation studio that produced Bleach and Magical Angel Creamy Mamie and many other anime, and Naruto, of course, and another animation studio, 2Kyo Games. It was written by Norimitsu Kaiho and directed by Tobihisa Taguchi. It is set in a dystopian future in Kansai. The story follows a young woman who accidentally becomes a criminal known as Akudama, who are pursued by the government, though she decides to fake an identity, Swindler, in order to survive after meeting Courier. The series aired from October to December 2020, a total of 6 DVDs and Blu-ray box sets collected in 12-episode series in Japan. Taguchi was inspired after seeing Kodaka's work in the Danganronpa series, and both agreed to work together. Inspired by Quentin Tarantino's 1992 movie Reservoir Dogs, Kodaka wrote the original draft of similar villains who act as protagonists. After showing his ideas to 2Q Games, the project was greenlighted and Peirod was brought in to create the appealing action scenes. A manga adaptation has also been serialized, while a character CD soundtrack was released in Japan. Critical response to the series was positive based on the cyberpunk setting as well as handling of the main cast, most notably the lead, Swindler. It is widely considered to be one of the best anime of 2020. Reviewers noted that the series primarily centered around the ideals of justice. Premise: in a dystopian future where Kansai became the vassal state of the Kanto region, a region in Japan, multiple highly skilled criminals called Akudama are sent a message from an anonymous client to free a death row prisoner named Cutthroat before they are executed. 4 Akudama respond to the challenge and descend into Kansai police headquarters to earn a big payday. However, once inside, they discover the job was part of a larger scheme by their clients to make them work together on a bigger job, to infiltrate the Shinkansen and steal precious cargo from a vault at the front of the train. Roped into the job are an ordinary girl arrested on a minor charge but forced to keep up the appearance of a swindler, and a low-level hoodlum who is accidentally broken out of jail during the initial heist. The team must work together to find the job and earn their large payday, all while keeping ahead of the executioners from the Kansai police on their tail. The production. The series was directed by Tomihisa Taguchi. The series originated from Taguchi's positive impression of Kazutaka Kodaka's work in Danganronpa franchise, and both agreed to work in this project. Both were fans of the films Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and The Usual Suspects. The films that were Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction were both directed by Quentin Tarantino, while The Usual Suspects was directed by Bryan Singer. This fascination with these films went into their desire to make the story set in a dystopian cyberpunk world with a Quentin Tarantino-inspired plot. Due to the cast being composed of 7 protagonists, the team originally meant to call it Akudama 7. The appeal of Reservoir Dogs led to the team to develop a unique cast with different features, all being referred by pseudonyms rather than personal names. Norimitsu Kaiho commented that the cast is meant to be rebellious in contrast to the similar series where the cast relies on each other. The setting and animation. The series has been planned ever since 2014. Kodaka recommended the anime to fans of the steampunk and crime genres. In making the series, Kodaka had the idea of the main cast being villains. Kaiho and Kodaka had multiple talks in the making of this anime script and left it to Taguchi to decide how to handle it once finishing it. Art director Yoshio Tanioka received aid from the directors of each episode in regards to the storyboards. The lighting was done by Sayuri Goda to generate a balance between the multiple colors, while photography director Kazuhiro Yamada finished combining all their work. Tanioka denied the cyberpunk comparison and instead referenced Japan, Kansai, and Showa. The Tsutenkaku and Osaka Castle were carefully designed to give the setting the feeling the series was set in Osaka. Taguchi personally revised the scenes of the series for him. The biggest asset was having Tanioka as the art director based on his idea that helped to visualize the setting of Akudama Drive. Goda personally revised the colors represented through the animation. This also helped create cells and the shading. Asahi Production, another anime producing studio in Japan, did the series animation. They were primarily in charge of creating monitors or holograms. On the other hand, there were many cases where the signboard was drawn by art and the signboard on the screen of the first episode. In the Kansai City scene, signboards drawn with art and signboards of 2D works are mixed. The placement of the 2D work sign was done at the time of the shooting, and the color and the density of the monitor material were adjusted so that it blended in with the background. In addition, hologram processing was added to the signboards drawn by art. The setting were described by art directors as a hybrid of everyday life and delusions. Telephone poles and quaint houses on the way to work were also added to the setting. The city of Kansai included cutting-edge high-tech in order to make it nostalgic. The opening and the ending video sequences were created to give a multiple idea to the viewers in regards to what the series is about, while also showing appealing music. The characters were adapted by Cindy H. Yamauchi, who worked in order to make them stand out as individuals. Most of the series' voice acting was done in March 2020, in order to make the narrative more thrilling. During recording of the series, the executioners were given more ruthless lines and interactions than the Akudama, even though the latter are criminals. Tomoyo Kurosawa was praised by the staff member for her work as Swindler. The influences. Although the series was influenced by multiple works, the team wanted it to be a unique cyberpunk series based on the elements they wrote taken from Japanese culture. Other influences include Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, 1980, and Mamoru Oshii's film Ghost in the Shell, an anime movie that was released in 1995. Taguchi wanted to entertain Western audience besides the Japanese, which was why the anime takes place in Kansai, as Taguchi believed the Kansai city of Osaka felt more Japanese to overseas tourists than Tokyo. The artistic direction was hence based on the Osaka streetscape from the 1960s and the 70s. Once Taguchi and Kodaka agreed to work together, the latter showed 2Q Games his idea for the series, which the studio greenlighted. Kodaka specifically chose the studio to Payrot to co-animate the series, believing his previous works were fitting for an action series. The character of Swindler was revised from Kodaka's original vision, as he wanted to show the character who could not fit into the Akudama, but Taguchi revised her for his own take of a protagonist. As a result, Kodaka considers Swindler as a young girl who would surprise the audience. While Kodaka agreed that the character design Komatsuzaki does not care about works sharing similarities, the team wanted each of them to stand out in the same fashion protagonists of the Danganronpas to stand out. Yamauchi revised Swindler and Sister's design for the series' second half, giving them a more adult feel based on the video game Detroit: Become Human. Subaru Kimura's portrayal of Hoodlum was noted to fit the director's original approach. Yuichiro Umehara was found as the fitting voice actor for Courier, and the staff finding that if he talked too much, he would be out of character. Umehara explained he found it a fitting yet challenging job due to Courier's silent personality via his lack of interactions. Umehara, in particular, enjoyed the work of Tomoyo Kurosawa, and Takahiro Sakurai, the voice actors for Swindler and Cutthroat, based on the idea they gave to the characters, with the former of portraying a different type of Akudama based on her innocence and the latter for showing areas of dementia when talking, as well as due to the fact that they are more involved in interactions. He felt it was an entertaining work as a result of interacting with the other famous voice actors like Akio Otsuka and Shunsuke Takauchi, the voice actors for Master and Brawler. Megumi Ogata's voice acting was done to create a sexually appealing woman in contrast to her previous roles, which included young males. The staff described Brawler as a Bishonen, yet muscular character. Takauchi's pitch was carefully done to fit the idea of Brawler. Originally a child hacker, was transformed into a more mature person in the making of the series to fit the demographic. Shun Hori was told by the staff to give him a cold personality. The team found Cutthroat as the most difficult character to write. Brother was originally older than sister, but Yamauchi altered them to make them look like twins while retaining their original clothes. The executioners' outfits were based on the Imperial Japanese Army and the police officers. Master originally had a carrying experience in the character table, but was altered due to his dark job. Yamauchi referred to this certain character in a certain special effects work while following the concept art for the hairstyle. The disciples had no major changes ever since their concept art. Only hairstyle was altered due to the artist's preference. Boss was modeled after Judi Dench. The producer was concerned about the series promoting evil and came up with the idea of every character dying in a cool way similar to Reservoir Dogs, the movie. The finale was inspired by the 1994 movie Leon, the Professional, and the survival of Natalie Portman's character. Rather than having the dilemma of surviving, Kodaka agreed with the team that each character would die without regrets. Meanwhile, the surviving characters, brother and sister, were sent to the Shikoku region with the idea of giving the series an idea of hope. However, their fates were left ambiguous, and Kodaka believes explaining it would require the writing another series to focus on their journey. The themes. Kodaka claims that the series was specifically created to appeal to the overseas market. When it comes to writing, Kodaka took more priority when dealing with the beginning. As the movie Reservoir Dogs inspired characters are criminals, Kodaka wanted to give each a meaningful death based on his philosophies when writing characters. Kodaka claims that deaths help to properly fulfill the cast. Due to the fact that Akudama were criminals, Kodaka envisioned them as individuals that had to die in the series. Early sketches of the series involved more brutal scenes, but Kodaka decided to use a pop aesthetic for the narrative. As Swindler goes from an accidental criminal, the narrative explores her acceptance of a dark action she had to commit for her job, which involves her decision to protect brother and sister, even if she has to kill people. According to Kodaka, the series' main theme regarding the executioners and their character arcs involve their concept of crime and justice, which is touched upon with Swindler's death. Taguchi claims that the director's cut scene further improves the narrative as it explores more of the chaotic city which Courier was trying to escape from to protect the children. Taguchi and Umehara stated that across the finale, the executioners were developed, most notably through Pupil. However, the staff claimed there is no message and is instead meant to be ambiguous. Swindler's history was compared to Jesus due to how her fate is controversial it is found to the standards.